welcome to the Sharp Way Show on this very special Friday night edition. And it is 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And I know you're like, Larry, you always go live at 7. I do. That's true. But today I have a super special show with a guest who is literally halfway around the world. So I had to be good to him, and I couldn't do 7 p.m. I had to be good and do 9 p.m. because he's literally halfway around the world. So I hope you'll be good to him too. And this is going to be just a great show. And since I know it's going to be great, and you know it's going to be great, do me a favor right now. Click that like button. Click it now already. It's going to be good. Don't be a nudge. Click it now. It does matter so that people can see this and they can also enjoy this great show. But there's one more thing. If you happen to be watching on Twitter, then do me a favor. Retweet this right now. Just right now. Hit retweet. Do it. Retweet it right now so that people can see what's going on, because it really does matter. Tonight, I have with me, or depending on where you are in the world, this morning, I have with me someone who really has put their finger on the pulse of cryptocurrency, blockchain, Bitcoin, and has been to all the events. Going to have a lot of info for us. The man himself, the BitcoinMan.com, Herbert Sim. Herbert, how are you?
Hi, Larry. It's very an honor to be on this show, and thank you for changing the time to fit into the Singapore time zone.
There we go. Yes, live from Singapore. I appreciate that. And if you want to follow Herbert, you can head on down to thebitcoinman.com, or you can just follow him on Twitter if you want. And on Twitter, he is Herbert R. Sim. And if you're listening to this, that's Herbert, the letter R, Sim, S-I-M. So Herbert, I have to ask you, there are literally thousands of cryptocurrencies out there, but you have become the Bitcoin man. Please tell me why.
First off, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's an honor. I did a whole read up on you prior to this, and I'm very, very impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, okay, maybe I'll do a quick introduction about myself first.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. My name is Herbert Sim. So I'm commonly known as the Bitcoin Man because of thebitcoinman.com since 2016. It's a venture capital with over 100 million assets under management. So what the Bitcoin Man does is we actually invest into different startups, cryptocurrency, blockchain projects across the world. So the thing is,
now hold on one second. Is this venture capital, or is this more private equity, or both?
So it's a venture capital and an incubator. So we incubate projects and take them off the ground. Yeah.
Got it.
And I guess this is an American kind of show. So I guess to the American viewers out there, fun fact, I actually did my bachelor degree in Oklahoma City, USA.
Look at that. So there we go.
Yeah. And the best part, my Bachelor of Arts is actually in liberal studies.
Look at that. And there we go.
Nice. So I'm speaking to a libertarian, right? So, yeah.
Yes. That's good.
And I've actually traveled across 15 states in USA, which I think it's not bad given my short duration there of about 3 years. Yeah. So, maybe I'll give a quick introduction about myself and the career history, how I actually got into Bitcoin as well.
Well, let's focus real fast. Give them a little bit of meat first. Why did you pick Bitcoin, then back it in?
Yeah. Okay. So I actually got into Bitcoin in 2010.
Wow, good time. I'm jealous.
Right. So when I entered, the price range was hovering between $5 to $20.
Wow.
Yes, and at that point, it's one of the things that you're driving, which is the hemp business, right?
Yes.
Cannabis, marijuana. Now, the thing is, back in the day, how Bitcoin started, it was actually used as the payment currency for hemp or cannabis. And especially so right now today, so this was the very early days of Bitcoin, right? So I just happened to be right place, right time, and I entered the market in 2010. So that is why I picked Bitcoin. And the thing is, across the past decade, Bitcoin has proven itself, right? thousands of times, medias across the world have said Bitcoin is dead, right? We've seen so many big news talking about it. Say Bitcoin is dead, the price went up, but it's dumped. The bubble has burst, it's dead. But it is still surviving, it's thriving, right? Now, even though we are in a crypto winter to say, right, it's still here to stay. It's surviving. And it's still the number one godfather of all cryptocurrencies, right? And none has yet to even surpass it,
Wow.
And I do foresee this continuing. Yeah.
That's amazing. So let me, Alexander says, Bitcoin is the second greatest invention in all of human history, right behind the wheel. I think Alexander likes Bitcoin. But so with all the other cryptocurrencies, right? Why wouldn't someone who wants to get involved, why wouldn't they jump on something else like the popular Dogecoin, or which obviously is a popular coin, or maybe a more useful one like maybe Ethereum? That's a more useful coin, right? Why would someone go to to Bitcoin versus those two?
Okay, so it's very simple. It all depends on your risk appetite, right?
Got it.
High risk, high rewards. However, it also means high risk. Yeah. The keyword is high risk because it means losing everything you have. Everything you put in, you can lose it just like that. Now, the thing is, people are even losing on a less risky product such as Bitcoin, right? And they're already losing money there because of the fluctuation, right? But the thing is, when you see another token that's fluctuating even faster, it means the possibility of making more money, right? The possibility of the volatility traders can make on the margin, right? You buy low, you sell high, you make the margin, right? So it becomes Bitcoin becomes less sexier than the other cryptocurrencies, right? But now the thing is, there is where the danger lies. You actually get exposed, and too much exposure means you're gonna possibly lose money.
Yes, there we go.
My recommendation to the world, come into the industry, do your own research, even before you start buying any cryptocurrencies. And the thing is, I would say if you're a long-term investor, Bitcoin is a good investment.
You bring up a very valid point, which I like. I like what you're saying because I've invested in several cryptocurrencies, and even though my Bitcoin has gone up and down, I've never lost everything. Like I still have something, right? In the other coins, you're right, you could lose everything, but Bitcoin, you don't lose everything. So, but Dave brings up a point. He says Bitcoin is probably going to be subjected to more regulations because of Sam Bankman-Fried. He's so popular, FTX, right? It made the news. Everyone's talking about it. And everyone's like, cryptocurrency's dead, like they've been saying, right? And that's the end. But doesn't that mean the government will now regulate it more? And is that a more important question, Herbert, is that a good or a bad thing or neither?
Okay, so now the thing is, I'm going to come in from the viewpoint of the global point view, because it's not just America, it's the whole entire world that we're talking about. Now, the thing is, since I joined in 2010, up to date, it's been over 12 years right now. So now the thing is, I have seen the different countries across the world trying to regulate this sector to no avail. Right. And many countries, they start off first like, they try to restrict it, they can't. Then they try to ban it, they can't. Then they try to then they approve it again. Shortly after, they ban it again. Right. So many countries follow this entire timeline roadmap. So America is still right now catching up to that.
Yes.
Right.
You're right.
And the thing is, America is still slow to adoption of the eventual CBDC, central bank digital currencies, which we'll discuss at later in the show. But the thing, what I'm trying to say now is all countries follow this roadmap, right? They restrict, they ban, they approve again, and then they ban, and approve again, and then want to launch their own cryptocurrency, their own central bank digital currency. So all countries are following this progression, and right now, America is at the stage of restricting. No ban, thank God, right? But the thing is, because of the different lobbying and all, their hands are tied, right? But now the
Yes.
thing is, there will come a time eventually on the roadmap that they will have to launch their own CBDCs. Why I say that? Because the whole entire world is on a race towards launching their own cryptocurrency, their own CBDC,
Ah.
right? And now the world biggest superpower, sorry America, it's actually China right now.
It
Okay,
looks
and
like
now
it's getting that way, isn't it? It's going there. Yeah.
the whole entire economy is moving towards China now. So now the thing is, in China, they are far ahead in terms of tech compared to America. I know it's like Americans wouldn't like to hear this, but the truth of the matter is, their super app, example, WeChat, they have a payment
Yeah.
solution.
Hold on.
Right?
If I remember
They have
right,
shopping-
didn't China already launch their own digital currency like 2 years ago or something? It was a while ago, right?
Precisely. Okay, so I'm getting there. But
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. So the thing is, China has this WeChat, which is the equivalent of WhatsApp and Amazon combined, right? And
Got
so
it.
many other users, right? You can pay with WeChat. You can send money to your family on WeChat, right? You can even buy things on WeChat, order a taxi on their WeChat. It's the everything app, right? And up to date, America doesn't even have that, right? And if you actually go to China itself, the main cities, the top 5 from Shanghai, Beijing, and all, you would actually notice that even the, say, homeless or somebody asking for money, a beggar, he would actually say, can you scan this QR code and send me some
Wow.
money? Yeah. So think about that. The homeless giving you a QR code to scan. And this was 2015, 8 years ago. Where is America today on this technology, right? Okay, that's number one. Number two, China has already launched their own digital yuan. Yeah, you're right. Around 2-3 years ago. And in the Olympic Games just last year, 2022, right? The China Olympics, they actually push out rigorously their digital yuan.
Wow.
Right? So now the thing is, China is developing at such a fast pace, and American is still caught up with their politics, and frankly, from the whole entire world perspective, America is destroying itself, the left and right, the centralists and everything. It's like very messy, right? And it's
I think there's a fear that we have in America, and Matthew brings it up. He says, with an app like WeChat, the government can control everything, though. So Americans are worried about a digital currency because we're worried that the government will control it. The government will then shut it off and not let you pay your rent or take the money for taxes or that kind of thing. So I think we have a fear in America that I think maybe other countries don't have.
And why is that? We are all humans, Okay, now, that's my first theory. Now the thing is, I come from Singapore, and Singapore, while we are a democratic society, the thing is, we have only one government for the past 50 years. In American, you would call this an authoritarian, right?
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Okay, so but the thing now is, it is a very, very well-run country. In the less than 50 years, Singapore, from a fishing village, has become
It's a miracle.
Country.
It's a miracle.
In 50 years. So, and if you actually come to Singapore and you see how the country is run, right? The clean, it's a very clean country. You see green everywhere. You don't see homeless people, right? And the trains, the transport system, everything is very well run, and it's like brand new as well. If you've been to Tokyo, Shanghai, or Beijing, you will see a lot of brand new infrastructure, right? I'm very sorry to say this because when I went to New York, and many times actually, for us, for example, the subway itself is old.
New York City's falling apart.
It is. Okay, it was prime time the best city in the world maybe 50 years ago, right? But now the thing is, the infrastructure is not being updated. Where's
True.
the money going to? It's going to fund politics, right?
So you think, and this is the point I'm going
Yeah.
to bring up. You think, if I remember what your thought process is, you
Mm.
think the way to save the budgets is to go digital coin, right? That's the way to save the budget, so that the countries and or the states and cities will then be able to upgrade their infrastructure. Is that where you go with that?
Not really. Okay, America in general, a lot of the budget is going to the military.
Yeah, oh my God, yes.
Now the thing is, why not use the budget for the infrastructure for the betterment of the country? Okay, so now just a quick explanation.
I'm
okay?
not going to argue. That's
Yeah.
yes.
So the thing is,
Yes.
if you look at which country is right now flourishing, all those countries, if you look at how they spend their budget, it's always towards the infrastructure of the country, building new buildings, which in turn have more jobs, right? And in turn, a better life for the country people.
I agree what you're saying. I do. I get the concept of that. However, at the same time, while countries like China and Japan do have nicer infrastructure, I agree. I've been to both countries. I agree with you. They also have a government that doesn't allow much freedom or innovation. They also have a government that, even though they may not have as many beggars, I think that's true, the poverty rate in China far worse than America.
Okay,
Someone,
wait.
Hold on.
Let me correct you
Someone
there.
who is
Okay?
poor in China, hold on. Someone
Yeah.
who is poor in China might actually starve to death. There's poor in America, but we don't starve to death, right? That's not a thing. We don't starve to death in
okay.
America. Now,
All
Japan,
right.
they don't starve to death. I lived in Japan for a while. They don't starve to death in Japan. I agree. However, Japan is a monolith country. America's not that.
Okay, so a couple points you
Please.
brought up. I think it's better if if you spend just a couple months in the country, but as a local, really dive deep down and understand.
I have. I literally lived in Japan.
And China, for example. Okay, so
China, I was there for
now
about a month.
I was very lucky because I'm working in Bitcoin, so I get to travel around the world.
Yes,
live
absolutely.
in many different countries
Yes.
across the world. So frankly, okay, you're from New York, so it's not too bad. It's still one of the top cities in the world. Now the thing is, you do see homeless people on the streets,
Sure.
right? And people do starve to death. They do.
No, not in America.
Okay, and I have even
Doesn't happen in
friends
America.
that, well, okay, yeah, all right. There's a lot of news.
I don't
about that
mean
also.
to be mean on that,
Yeah.
but the problem that America has is we have an opioid crisis. So we have people who will overdose and die. That happens all the time. And it's a terrible problem that we have, right? America has a problem with opioids. But I mean, the number of people who starve to death in a country of 330 million is under 20. And usually those who starve, it's on purpose. And I mean that, like, we will allow an elderly person because we're being cruel to them and they die. So it's basically murder is when we do it, right? Or you have a terrible parent who is punishing their child and a child. I mean, that's the only real time when people die of starvation. So that's not a thing. Not
Okay,
in
I've
America.
got a question. Have you been to Southeast Asia, like Singapore, Thailand?
Philippines.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, so we have different categories of food places, for example, right?
Sure.
We have restaurants, we have food courts, we have hawker centers, which I believe Americans probably don't know what is that. And then you have even cheaper food. So it's different tiers of food categories, right?
Yep.
Now, the thing is, in America,
I used to eat food off the bicycle. The guy with the bicycle and the basket.
so you have food from $1 or like a $1 all the way to maybe thousands of dollars, right? But the thing now is you have a whole different category of food supply for the country as a whole, right? And different tiers depending on your financial status, right? So now the thing is, in America, you don't really get that, So
no, we get free food. No, we get free food.
Yeah. No, I get it. But
I don't mean to be mean here.
Yeah.
We should probably shift off of this topic. I'm just saying, starvation is not
yeah.
a thing.
All right.
It isn't.
It's all about having a well-run
America.
country.
Hold on. America's by no means perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's perfect. It's not. There's no doubt. I run for office trying to change it. We've got tons of problems. And
Perfect,
politics
yes.
is our biggest problem that we have. You are correct. Our military industrial complex is a disaster. We should stop spending money on all of that. I agree. But when it comes to poverty, that specific piece, if you go globally, now within our country, we have some poor people, absolutely. And I want to change that. Of course I do. But when you compare America's poor to other people's poor, we're good. We give away food in America like there's no tomorrow. America is a massive food surplus. We give our food away. I'm not joking. That's a thing we do. We literally give it away to other countries. We have so much food, we literally give it away to other countries. So food is not an issue for us. We have lots of other issues, but not food. So anyway, I'm sorry. What the reason why I wanted to bring up the coin is because of the other question. I see it as a way of raising more money. I agree with you. The worry that I think so many Americans have because of our government spying on us, because of our government putting us in jail, because of our government going to war, because of those things that we have, we are worried that if the government has a digital currency, that it will then control us even more with a digital currency. That's our worry, our concern. And most people who are libertarian for sure, they like the idea of digital currencies that are not centralized. Like they want to decentralize the currency. They prefer a Bitcoin to a centralized currency, even though that may not be the best for a given government. Does that make sense?
Okay, so now it's right. You're completely right on point about privacy and decentralization, and that is what Bitcoin is, right? So when I first joined in 2010, it was simply because I was championing, like I got into this movement called Cypherpunk, right? So it not cyberpunk, but cypherpunks. So this group is a group of computer scientists, coders who are very proactive towards privacy and decentralization, right? So even Satoshi Nakamoto himself is a cypherpunk, right? Because cypherpunk came about from this manifesto written by Eric Hughes in 1993, right? Over a decade before Bitcoin. So now the thing is, to be in this mindset of privacy and decentralization was how Bitcoin came about. Decentralization for finance, right? It's all about power to the people with finance. Because the moment you give people back their power of finance, right, you effectively take power away from the government in a way. Because the government's control of the people is through money, right? So now the thing is, Bitcoin gives power back to the people, and people are starting to see that today, right? People are getting to be more smart. They are awakened, woke culture, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So how do we deal with the issue, though, that most people still today, they feel like Bitcoin is an investment and not a currency, right? Most people, if they think about Bitcoin, they're like, I'm going to invest in it. I'm not going to spend it. I feel a lot of people don't look at it that way. In fact, James says, I took out a home equity loan on my house and I split the money on Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and AMC. Guess which yielded the highest return? Now, I don't really, I don't need to answer that question. This just reinforces my point, Herbert, that most people, particularly Americans, they don't look at Bitcoin as a currency. They think it's an investment, like I'm going to buy stocks or bonds, like that. Is that okay, or should we change that?
Yeah, so I think that is a very good ideology, I would say. Look at it as a long-term investment rather than a currency per se. Okay. Over the past decade, many people have been, like debating over this subject. Is Bitcoin currency a currency? Is it a investment?
Yeah.
What is it? So I'm in the I would say in the group where we think that Bitcoin is like gold, right? Where you actually invest in it and see it grow over time. So now the thing is, it's always better to invest in something long term, right? Building your house on stone rather than on sand, right? Sand, yes, it moves very fast and all, but high risk, it's dangerous, right? So
right.
That is how I see Bitcoin is something with longevity, right? Long term,
So
it's
can
gonna.
you talk to me about the fundamentals that makes Bitcoin different than some other coin that doesn't have the same fundamentals. In other words, the average person just sees cryptocurrency, right? They can't tell. And they go to Bitcoin because, Herbert told me Bitcoin or Larry told me Bitcoin. They don't know why. Can you give me a little bit of the fundamentals why Bitcoin is that foundation of stone?
Okay, so now the thing is, if you know how digital currency came about, is through Bitcoin. When Bitcoin white paper first came about by Satoshi Nakamoto, right? That was when Bitcoin was first founded, like 2008-9, right? So now the thing is, it has been the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The code and everything is the same. It's 12 years ago code, even up to today is the same. However, why is it still the number one coin in the world, right? You're seeing like the likes of Ethereum and everything upgrading, but the price and it's still nothing comparable to Bitcoin. And now the thing is, Bitcoin has no founder, right? Okay, well, it's the founder Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know who he is. Now the thing is, when there's a person behind it, we are human. It's subjected to failure, we have over the past 12 years now, I've seen so many projects that were globally on the top, and then they disappear. Look at where FTX is, right? It was the top exchange in the world, comparable to Binance, right? But look where it is today. It just disappeared, So the thing is, there are many more examples. From MT Gox 2014, another FTX example, right, where I was hit very badly as well. I'm also to be honest, I got hit very badly by FTX as well. So now the thing is, and many people across the world. Now the thing is, what I'm trying to say now is always okay. To be fair, like I was reviewing it, right? The past 2 months, I was grappling with this loss, and I was like, the funny thing is, I didn't learn from my lesson in 2014 when I got hit by empty gods. So I started, over the next 6 years, I started trusting again in a centralized exchange, put my money there, and boom, gone. Right. Now the thing is, the lesson learned is always take your money out from centralized exchange, put it into your cold wallet, right? If you're looking for long-term investments.
So let me move to that if I could, right? There are not only thousands of currencies, but there's got to be at least hundreds, if not thousands, of exchanges, right? How many exchanges are there? How do I know that FTX is the right one or Coinbase is the right one? How do I know which one is the one I should use?
Very good question. So in 2017 to 18, I was the head of global operations for Huobi, which was the biggest exchange in the world from 2013 to 17. There was no Binance then, right? And Huobi was the biggest exchange in the world, and I was effectively the head of global operations. I actually took them out from China into Singapore, all within one day during the blanket ban in China.
Wow.
Picture this, okay? Suddenly America bans crypto. Blanket ban across the country. What's going to happen? So Coinbase,
chaos,
all your big exchanges will just billions of dollars. What's going to happen, right? Wiped out. So now the thing is, panic across the country. And you all know the population of China is almost 3 to 4 times bigger than America.
Yes.
So can you imagine the panic across nationwide? And all that money was on Huobi. Huobi had 70% of the whole 70% of the whole entire world's trading then was in China. 66% of it was all in Huobi. So at that point of time, 2017, it was the biggest exchange in the world, undisputedly, right? Just that year alone, as the global operations director, I saw a trading volume of 850 billion US dollars.
Wow, it's a lot of money.
And that exchange, the trading fee, right, of that trading volume is 0.2%, which makes it 16 billion US dollars in 1 year profit. Wow. Now the thing is, you take that, even Google doesn't have that kind of P&L. Right.
Yes.
So now the thing is, at that very year alone.
But hold on. How do we know? Like, how would I have known if it was me at that point? how would I have known to trust you? Like, how do I, is there a way that I can look? Do you have like a list of good exchanges? Is there a Better Business Bureau? Is there a Yelp? Right? Is there something?
So the thing now is cryptocurrency is a very new industry. It's 12 years old, right? So it's all about self-governance. In fact, countries across the world are all trying to regulate this, right? Their central banks are coming up with, here's a whole list of rules that you have to adhere to, right? But at the same time, they don't want to over-regulate, right? Because you actually suppress innovation, right? So you don't want to over-regulate. And that is what most governments across the world are tackling, right? Do you want more innovation or more rules and laws, like to suppress the people, right? So now the thing is, it's very important not to suppress tech and innovation, because it is also the center of how the country progress and make money for the economy, right? Jobs and everything. So, okay, back to the topic. It's this whole entire shucks. We actually digress so much. What was the main
worries.
topic?
Let me do a little bit, if I could, for my channel, if I could right now. Guys, if you're watching on Twitter, please do me a favor. Retweet. Just retweet it right now so we can do that. And if you want to support the channel, you can. 2 ways. 1, head over to my sponsors, theadvocates.org. When you have a moment, go to the Advocates, take the world's smallest political quiz, and share the results. It's 2 minutes. That's it. You share it. It's done. You've already done it. You can actually take a test on monetary policy. Yes, we're talking about it right now. There's a survey there if you want to. It's a single issue survey. It takes about 5 or 6 minutes. Take the survey, answer the questions, and share the results. It's free. They'll ask for your email. If you like the Advocates, they're the Advocates for Self-Government. If you like that kind of organization, they'll send you an email once a month or so. Please put your email in. If you don't, you don't have to. Either way, do it and share it. It supports the show. If you want to support the show directly, heading over to Larry Sharp YouTube and super chat me so I can put your chats up front. We can chat and talk and see what Herbert has to say about whatever you have to say. We can do it that way also. It all works. But here's the most important piece. It's early in the morning over there in Singapore, and Herbert came on. So do him a favor and follow him on Twitter. Head over to Herbert R. Sim on Twitter. Follow him and see what he's doing. And check out, he's got a whole blog on the bitcoinman.com on all types of things, resources. Check out what he's got going. If you're into cryptocurrency, if you're into Bitcoin, head over to thebitcoinman.com and check him out. All right, what I wanted to talk about, Herbert, I want to go back to if I could. The idea of regulating the central, the CBDC. I'm unsure if this, I want you to help me with this. Once you regulate that, does that make Bitcoin better because people are more safe with it? Or does it make people afraid now with Bitcoin and I'll only do the digital currency my government gives me? How does regulating through a CBDC, how does it affect Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies?
It's a very good question. Okay, so now the thing is, over the past 12 years, there have been no regulations per se, right? So what happened is it encouraged a lot of bad actors, scammers, right? Rug pulls, Ponzi's that all came about. Now the thing is, where there's money, there's always going to be bad actors, right? That doesn't mean the industry is a scam. There are legitimate currencies, right? That you can see over the years, right? First off is Bitcoin. It has been there to stay for the past 12 years now. And even Satoshi Nakamoto hasn't come about. Now, the thing is, there's many more as well. Like you rightly mentioned about Ethereum, it's the second biggest in the world, right? There's upcoming also like Binance. All this are, if you notice, what happened is all these cryptocurrencies, they try to adhere to different regulations across the world, right? And because they are constantly innovating, adapting, right, and being very versatile, adapting to different countries across the world, it makes them a very resilient token to invest in.
Okay.
Right?
So you think regulation through national governments in the long run is a good thing? You think it's going to help in the long run?
So I do welcome regulations, right? This is against actually many other cryptocurrency gurus out there, right? They're like, oh, crypto, it's all about decentralization. We don't want governance, we want self-governance, right?
Mhm.
But the thing now is the reality of the world is countries are there, governments are there, right? So the only way to thrive is you actually work together and survive, right? And find a common ground, right? It's not just war. It's sometimes comes to compromise and finding ways
So
around.
so
Yeah.
if a government says, "Hey, I'm America or I'm Canada, I'm going to create the rules for my digital currency and here are the rules."
Mhm.
Does that mean that, say, like a Bitcoin, is there still going to be a place of Bitcoin to say, "Nah, I don't want to have the rules"? Or is Bitcoin going to have the rules, or the government is going to ban them or shut them down or something like that? Will this create a more diverse field, or will it crush and create a monopoly on oligarchy? Right? In New York State, just to give you an example, in my state, and this is why I'm afraid. In my state, we made a bit license, and the bit license in New York State is a joke. All it does is make sure that the big heavy hitters win, the big banks win, and every other small guy loses, and they punish everybody else. And they even punish Coinbase. They punish Coinbase in New York State, right? And that's probably one of the biggest ones out there because Coinbase isn't an institutional bank. All New York State does is help out the institutional old school banks. It punishes everything new. So I have a natural fear of this. Is my fear smart? Not smart?
Okay, it's a very good fear. Fear helps you to survive. Okay, so now the thing is, I want to help all the users out there to survive, right?
Mhm.
I got hit so many times as well, from MT Gox to FTX. Now the thing is, learning from others' mistakes, right? Instead of getting hit, what you can do is take your Bitcoin out, put into your cold wallet, right? It's a small little ledger hard drive. Now the thing is, when you're there, no one can touch it, right? And that is a very good thing that is introduced by Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin, right? That can
Right.
be transferred to the cold wallet, away from prying eyes, away from the government, right? Now
it.
the thing, so it's finance to your own hands, right? And
Got
the
it.
thing is, one Bitcoin back then, $1, $5. Now it's 20,000, right?
Yes.
Ranging around there. So now the thing is, one Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin. So if you put your one Bitcoin in your cold wallet for the long term, you kind of effectively uh, have your life savings there, instantly, and these life savings keep growing. Now
Got
the
it.
thing is,
So that
why
I
I
asked
say
that
that it
question
would be
because
untouchable by governments. Okay, picture this, yeah. Bitcoin is decentralized and always will
yep.
be. Because if America bans it, China bans it, it's still gonna survive in every country in the world, and the price will
Okay.
always over still. Right? Now the thing is, no matter which country launch their own central digital bank currencies, right? CBDCs, it will always be separate from Bitcoin. And now
Got
the
it.
thing is,
Okay.
the currencies will help to actually push up Bitcoin. Why? It's because the speed of buying Bitcoin, transferring in and out, will be so much faster than today, right?
Okay.
Today you would have to go through a centralized exchange, right? Like Coinbase, for example, you go there, use your American dollar from your bank account to buy, right, Bitcoin. Now picture this: you can buy Bitcoin now using CBDCs at through your
Oh,
mobile phone instantly, right? So it makes it so much faster transaction and all.
got it.
That's number one. However, with CBDCs, it means that government can now track your investments.
Got it.
When you buy Bitcoin or you buy anything else, they are tracking you at the heartbeat.
Got
Okay.
it. So
Okay.
so I gain speed and I gain more convenience, but I lose privacy. That's basically what you're saying when I go to that level.
When we are at CBDCs, yes, we lose privacy. But now the thing is, ultimately, when you have your Bitcoin, okay, the privacy issue is because the government now can tax you,
Right.
right? Yeah. So they know how much Bitcoin you have, and they want to tax you whether or not it's in the cold wallet or hot wallet on the
Right.
exchange. They are there to tax you, right? And you
Right.
can't run away from that because it's on the blockchain. Every
Got
single
it.
transaction is tracked, right?
That's why they're going to love it so much. The government's going to love that. They have
Yes,
but
you're
you know
right.
what's good about this, though? There's one good thing about that. Excuse me. As much as I hate the government tracking, at least they can't put you in jail for tax evasion because they know exactly how much you spent. So there's something, I guess.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
that's true. Okay, but
Yes.
now the thing is, based on this, right? I would say I do welcome this future, but this
Mhm.
future that I predicted about this whole entire tracking means you cannot buy or sell without a mark by the government. Without
Oh, got it.
yeah. So if you're a Christian, for example, like okay, so now the thing is, it is actually predicted on the Christian Bible in the book of Revelations, book 13, it talks about the
The
mark
mark
of
of
the
the
beast.
beast.
Yeah,
Yes, I knew you were going to
know it.
say that.
So
I knew it.
nobody can buy or sell without the mark of the beast, 666, right? And it's going to be on your right hand, right? Or forehead. And now this technology, it's already here. It's Bitcoin. It is
Wow.
cryptocurrency, right? And that is why I first joined and I was so convinced that it is the future, right? Because everything now is trackable on the blockchain,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay, and that is just the first step. That is the software, the payment solution. Now the
Right.
hardware solution is actually being developed by the once world richest man, Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
His company called Neuralink, right? We have all
Right.
seen the neural chip technology that he's trying
Yep.
to build, right? Putting the computer chip in your head, in your brain, right? We have all
Yep.
seen his video of the monkey
Yes,
play computer
absolutely.
games with his brain. Now the thing is, all this tech is already here today, right? So if you know the future, you're gonna be rich, right?
Oh,
So
I like how. Oh, this is good. I like how you're thinking. You're like, this is a dystopian future, but I can predict it, so I can make money on it. So okay,
yeah. So if you
not a bad
know
way of
where
looking
the
at it.
future is going to be, and if you're a devout Christian, for example, you know where the future is going, right? Why aren't you
There we
investing in
go.
this technology? Right? Yeah.
There we
Okay.
go.
So yeah. So
There we go.
it's a very interesting theory, I guess, for many people. Now the thing is, if you notice, it is where Microsoft is heading towards. We
Yes,
recently heard the big purchase, 10 billion US dollars into this AI tech called Chat
100%.
GPT, right?
Yep.
Why this big investment? Because this is the world first AI algorithm for chat, starting with chat. And it's
Yep.
going to progress very quickly across the whole entire spectrum of AI,
100%.
right? So now the
Yes.
thing is, because of that, Microsoft is like, a very big bet into this chat GPT, right? But what is this going to do in the terms of tech industry, right? So with this, it's going to spearhead payments. Okay, it's a bit very, very high level, a bit too complex for the average
But
listener.
let me hold
Yeah.
on. I want to keep going on this real fast if I could. All
Yeah.
right. So if we're gonna have that, I get it.
Mm.
But once we have is the goal then to replace fiat currency completely, or is the goal to integrate it to where you can use the regular dollar, fiat dollar, and crypto, or is the goal to just use digital currency and literally the dollar goes away? What's the goal? Do you know?
Okay, so dollar is not going away. Dollar is just transcending into digital dollar. That's it. That means
Got
we
it.
will no
Okay.
longer deal with paper money, right? In the past, it was big, giant gold bars, right?
Right.
And then, and now it, like the Bretton Woods 1944, it
Yep.
transcended, right? That the paper money is backed by gold. But in 2019, pre COVID pandemic, right? Do you know how much of the US dollar is backed by gold? Less than
Hardly any.
11. Yeah,
Yeah.
less than 11%. So then the rest of the 89% is what? It's air. It's
Yes.
it's worthless, right? So how much
Yes.
is your American dollar really worth money?
Well,
Right? Okay,
the
so now
American
the thing
dollar
is,
now, to our
yeah,
earlier point, is backed by American military power. That's really
yeah,
what it's backed by.
correct. That's right, and that's why it's always trying to incite wars and things like that. Okay, but now the
You're not
thing
wrong.
is, yeah, in 2019, right? Okay, I backed my resources back then because it's when it's the most tracked, okay, pre-pandemic, before the massive printing of money. Okay,
Right.
so back then, do you know how much China owned? How much America owns to China? The national debt of the national debt of USA, China actually bought in 13%. So if now
Wow.
your net worth, example, Larry Sharp, you owe me 13% of your net worth is from me. Who is the boss
Wow.
today? I am the
Yeah.
boss, right?
Yeah.
So now the thing is, USA knows it, and it's constantly poking China to go to war. With whom? With its neighbors like Taiwan, right? Hong Kong, Japan. They're finding ways to create strife around the area, which frankly, I pray for world peace, and
You in
like
Singapore, I
prosperity for the
understand.
world,
Yes, it
right?
makes
But the
sense.
thing is,
I agree.
America's economy is thriving on weapons, right? And it makes it a
So
yeah.
you bring up a good point. Chris says, I think the Treasury, U.S. Treasury, sees the writing on the wall and will be launching its own digital currency as the dollar erodes. I fear many people are going to willingly transition to that. And I think he has a point. I think there's a small group of Americans like me who are worried, who don't want the government to do this. But I think most Americans are going to willingly say, okay, yeah, put the chip in my head or in my hand, or yeah, I can have an easier life by giving the government all my information and sacrificing privacy. I think America has done it many times, and I think we'll do it again. I think you're right. I don't like it, but I still think you're right.
Okay. Frankly, I don't like it either, right? But the thing is, change is the constant, and it's across the world, across life. That is what life is. Change is happening, right? Like it or not, time is linear. We are moving forward every day, every second. So now the thing is, this change is coming, like it or not, predicted already on the Bible, right? Like I mentioned, soon enough there will be a one world government across the world, right? In every single country. Countries are going to disappear. Governments are going to disappear into one.
You're making me cry. Herbert, you're going to make me cry. Don't do this. You're going to make me cry in front of my audience.
Yeah, one world government is going to force down across the world citizens to get their mark on their right hand and forehead, and they are going to make it so you cannot buy or sell without their mark. And
so
and
let
that's
me ask,
it. And it's going to happen very quickly. Yeah.
James says, he says a gold bar is tangible. And I agree with that. Is there a way for someone to create a cryptocurrency that is pegged not to a currency like a dollar or a yen or a euro, but is pegged to gold or silver or something like that? Can we do that? Is that doable?
So this has been done to death, I would say, in the past 12 years of crypto. So many people have tried as well, trying to back to gold, trying to back it to silver, commodities, and more, even diamonds, right? Now, the thing is,
it doesn't work.
There's so much struggles behind it, right? It's always the integrity of the founder, right? She said that it's backed by gold, but how much of it is really backed by gold, right?
Got it.
Yeah. So now the thing is, okay, while gold is tangible, in a situation of a war, can you run with your gold bars? How many gold bars can you run with? It's heavy. Yeah. So now the thing is, ultimately, like the money has to be packed to something. So Satoshi Nakamoto came up with this ideology of digital gold, right? That it's a consensus by the people of the world, right? How much they want this digital gold to be. And now the whole entire world only have 1 million Bitcoins. Yeah.
I'm getting scared now, Herbert. If you're right, I'm going to assume you're right. There's going to be this one world government, and it's going to be only sell with the mark of the beast. But you're still telling me, though, that Bitcoin is separate. So does that mean Bitcoin becomes the underground money of the rebels, of the revolution? Is that what Bitcoin becomes when all the one world government controls everything?
Okay, so it's now we are talking a bit dystopian, right?
Yes. Okay. Well, I see one world government as dystopian. I do. I am not happy about that.
For me, it's definitely coming. people are not going to be happy about that, but there's nothing they can do, right? Ultimately, it's the consensus. Now, the thing is, Bitcoin will always be that fighter, rebel, like I mentioned.
It will.
But the thing now is the government also can themselves buy into Bitcoin. Do you understand what I'm saying? They
Oh.
themselves can buy into it. And in turn, they can pump or dump the price, which, in my opinion, okay, conspiracy theory, I do think that there are certain groups, possibly even government, that are pumping and manipulating prices.
You'll never see me fight conspiracy theory on this show. You can do it all day long. I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
Okay.
I don't
So
mind.
yeah, so
Fine.
the thing now is, okay, one thing that I mentioned on my
hold
blog.
on, I'm sorry. I gotta go to back. So this, I never, to be forward, I've never thought of what you just said, which is why it blows my mind. The idea that if the government creates the one world currency, if that does happen, that they would have so much money that they could actually buy into Bitcoin and affect the price. They could buy and or sell. And now that you say it, it makes complete sense to me. But before you said it, I never thought about it. In my mind, government and Bitcoin, there's a brick wall in between the two. But there isn't. That's just my imagination. They can do what they want.
You're right on point. Okay, so now the thing is, because with their own digital currencies, they can print even faster at the speed of light, right? And when they print so much money suddenly, and then they can instantly buy into Bitcoin and control as much Bitcoin as they want, right? And now the thing is, America might have the idea. However, China might have the idea. Japan might have the idea. The whole world might have the idea. Now, what's going to happen to Bitcoin suddenly? The price is going to jump into the moon, like what? Yeah. So my prediction, for the longest time now, I've been speaking on stages across the world. I've been saying that Bitcoin will eventually be $1 million each, minimum price.
Wow.
Like right now at 18,000, Bitcoin will be $1 million each. Why is that? It's the first currency in the world, right? And it has been the most dominant currency all throughout the decade. Now, the thing is, the world knows what Bitcoin is already. Whether or not they have bought in, they know what Bitcoin is.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, it's a matter of time before CBDCs are rolled out. Governments want to start backing their CBDCs against digital gold. And what is going to happen is, because they want to peg to digital gold, digital gold price will keep going up.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so that is point number one. Point number two.
So hold on. So what they're doing then is if they peg it to something like digital gold or something like that. See if my economics is correct here. Maybe you'll correct me. That means they will by default raise the value of their dollar, therefore paying off their debt easier.
Yes, you're right. Right on point. So because of like, for example, if they have more Bitcoin, and if they want to pump or dump accordingly, they can pay off debt very quickly, in and out. And money is moving very fast at the speed of light, right? There are many intelligent people in America as well who can create algorithms and things like that, trading algorithms and all, that could possibly, fight against the other countries in the world in terms of finance, right? You can bankrupt a country or make or break a country very quickly. You might not even need weapons anymore, right? Everything will be financial weapons.
Right. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now the thing is,
wow. Okay. So this is depressing. Let me move to something a little bit different if I could.
Yeah.
And it's in your same world. It's in the blockchain world. But let's shift for a second and move to NFTs. I know you're a fan of NFTs. I know many people who are, but they're also afraid. A bunch of NFT losses recently, so people are afraid of NFTs. What is the difference between? I know they're both in a blockchain, but what's the difference between a coin that I can spend, right, a major coin, and an NFT? What's the difference?
Okay, so NFT, it's basically the way I see it. It's just an art piece, that's encoded on the blockchain, and that's about it, right? So if you want your asset, the artwork, to price more, all you need to do is market and shield that artwork. But the thing now is, people are just buying into the hype of it, and they don't know
Yes.
the amount of hard work you have to do to shield, to market that piece of artwork, right? So I actually highly recommend people to always do their research before buying into anything, yeah, be it NFT or cryptocurrencies, or any other products. Always do your own research, right? Don't just go by your emotional feelings and you just buy in, right? You
I
will get
heard someone say the opposite to me. Someone told me, he said, I forgot who it was. He said, don't worry about the NFT, because if you're going to buy NFT art, he goes, think of it. This is what he said. Think of it as a digital wall, and you just want to buy art that you want on your digital wall. And if it goes up in value, good. If it doesn't, good. But buy it like art that you like. This person told me, he said, don't do it as an investment. He goes, you want to invest in coins. He said NFTs should be art that you enjoy, and if it goes up, that's great. That's what he said. Where do you go on that?
It's true. Okay, like I mentioned, it's a piece of art. If it goes up, it's good. If it doesn't, so you're buying into a piece of art, but you shouldn't be spending like $1 million for a piece of art, right?
Right.
Unless you're really an art collector. But the thing now is those NFTs that people are buying in is very different from your physical art pieces,
Yes.
right? The way you even judge a piece of art. How do you critique NFT, right?
Right.
So it's a whole different ball game altogether. So I wouldn't recommend new people to come into NFTs, but I would highly recommend actually to research and look into what Bitcoin and possibly Ethereum is about, right? Slowly do your research and find out what you need to know before you buy it, right? And the thing is, I highly recommend you do so before government launch your own CBDCs. You need to be faster than the government. Yeah, because when the government buys in, the price will be beyond your imagination already, right? If right now Bitcoin is 200,000, an average person won't be able to own one Bitcoin anymore.
Right.
The time to buy it is now, when Bitcoin is like 18,000, right? You don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. You can just buy 0.01%, for example, right? And just hold on to it, right? When Bitcoin becomes $1 million, you would make so much money. So I would actually, okay, for example, if on hindsight you were able to travel back 10 years ago, would you buy Bitcoin?
Well, I would mortgage my house.
Yeah. What else would you do? You will sell your kidney, do whatever it takes.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Now, people are going to say, Larry, you walk everywhere. I'm going to say, I sold my car so I could buy Bitcoin. So I'm walking everywhere. Yes, that's right.
So now the thing is, on hindsight now, if you are 10 years, and you travel back in time to now, and you know that Bitcoin is going to be $1 million soon enough, right? What are you going to do today? That is what I'm saying now. Today, people have to start. If not buying now, just have to research first. Understand it as quickly as you can. Get educated before the government buys in. And I'm telling you, it's a matter of time before every government in the world will buy in using their sovereign nation fund, right? Their national sovereign funds, they will all in. When they all in, what's going to happen is Bitcoin price is going to shoot beyond anybody's,
No, you just made me, because I know the Singapore's fund is $1 trillion. My day job is a business consultant, and one of my customers actually is the government of Singapore Investment Corporation. That's how I know GIC so well. And also the Norwegian fund is over $1 trillion. And I think the Saudi fund is on its way to $1 trillion. If those three buy Bitcoin or whatever they decide to buy, oh my God. I mean, sometimes those three are the market. Like whatever the market is, it's those three. Whatever they're doing is the market. So particularly in real estate. So if they do that, oh my God, I think you're right. I see your point.
Okay, Larry. So the thing is, those three that you mentioned, if you do a Google research, they have already bought in.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, they have already bought in. And it's not just GIC. There's also, GIC, 1 trillion. There's also Temasek Holding in Singapore. That's also $1 trillion, right? So now the thing is, they have both bought into Bitcoin, and it's public knowledge.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah. So now the thing is, even the FTX recently, it's open knowledge on the internet. Like Temasek invested $400 million into FTX, and it got wiped out.
Right.
It was a topic in Singapore as well. People questioning.
Sure.
Yeah. So the thing
Absolutely.
now is,
Wow.
but it's still a drop in the ocean. 400
Right.
million is nothing, compared to the
When you have
billion.
$1 trillion fund, you're right. It's whatever. Yes, absolutely.
So because
Okay.
there's always, you win some, you lose some, so they just write it off as a loss. But now what I'm saying now is governments across, I'm talking not just sovereign funds, Singapore, like Saudi. I'm talking about the likes of, say, China. They have yet to come in as a government. Okay.
Right.
Now we are only talking the people's money, right? And back in the day, 2017, when China was trying to suppress it, it was $850 billion trading volume in Huobi alone, which was
Right.
just 66% of 70% of the world, right? So
Right.
now what I'm saying now is that was just the people. Now,
Right.
what if the government came in as well, right? And they have yet to do it yet, right? They are
Got it.
testing out waters with their digital yuan, right? And trying to see and regulate the sector. But America has not even started yet, launching their own digital dollar to compete, right? What is
Right.
going to happen when US officially does it as a country? Right
It's
now
going to
it's
change
still
everything.
tech corporations, and the people buying in, testing waters, but the government has not come in as a whole yet,
So
right?
So
Yeah.
let's move away from governments for a minute and go into something that's a bit more light, but that everyone could enjoy.
Yeah.
You are also into the idea of mixing blockchain mining with gaming. Help me to understand that. That's something I don't get. Is that like, do people get some kind of coin for gaming? I don't know how that works. Can you help me out?
Okay, so very quickly, blockchain. For all the viewers out there, blockchain is a technology where you can actually track every single transaction or action that's being done, right? So technically, it can be used in any industry, right? Be it supply
Got it.
chain, even your sales, tracking of things, logistics, and more. So now the thing is, it can also be used for gaming, right? Where now gamers cannot cheat because every single action is being tracked, right? So
Got
now
it.
the thing, effectively, that is blockchain. Now I'm also talking about the cryptocurrency, where there are many games that allow users to play while earning money. How's that?
Got it.
So with every action you're doing in the game rewards their users with their tokens, and in turn you can take the tokens and sell it, right? So now the thing is, there are many games, top big games, example Axie Infinity, right, and many more, right, that are actually allowing users to make money as they play the game, right? Axie Infinity is huge in Philippines. Why? Because the users, like for example, teenagers playing games at home, and they're making more money than their parents are at work. Right?
I love that.
Now
Wow.
everybody is jumping on the game and playing because they're making more money than their parents.
So the parents are quitting their jobs and staying home playing a game.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's even stories of Wall Street, in New York, for example. People are quitting their high-paying jobs to play Axie Infinity.
Wow.
Yeah, so the
Wow.
thing now is play to earn is real. Yeah, how hardcore a gamer you are, it all depends on you, how much money you want to make, right? And playing games, doing something you
Right.
like. Yeah,
That's
it's the dream.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's like
So
that's
now
like
yeah.
it makes me I begin to wonder though, right? If people are making money playing games like that, who's doing work? Is that what now the AI is doing? Is the AI doing work while we play games? Is that the future?
So now the thing is, okay, you need to see how the ecosystem is running. Okay, so yeah, basically the games pay out, right? But where is the money coming from? The money is coming from the cryptocurrency ecosystem, right? Because more people are using the whole entire ecosystem, the money is flowing, and and now the thing is,
Joel
people are
says,
buying
isn't that
into
the
this
movie
token as well.
Ready Player One?
Yeah, Ready Player One. He's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it is the dystopian future we're talking about, where okay, Mark Zuckerberg obviously want us to get into that future. Everybody in the metaverse, right? You put on
Yes.
your 3D goggles and you're in this universe itself. We could possibly get there as well, and you cannot buy or sell without the mark of the beast. Right? Yeah. So the thing now is, in every single dimensions that we are talking about, the mark of the beast will happen.
Well,
Yeah,
let me
be
go
it
to
in
what Roger
metaverse,
says.
real world, yeah.
Roger says trackable transactions are no good, which is why we have Monero to keep private. Transactions that can be seen will be taxed, and blockchain tech will be used by government to tax you at will. So a lot of people like the Monero. I've met the Monero people. They seem like nice people. I don't know how talented they are. I have no idea, but they seem like nice people, and they seem to have an ideology to fight against what you're saying. Do you think a Monero or a competitor similar to it has a chance of survival?
So the more okay, so I would say Bitcoin is still number one.
Mhm.
Why? And it has shown us the way for the past decade already. Okay. Yes, Monero is still one of the top 50, I would say, coins out there. But just for everyone to know, in 2017, when I was head of Huobi, there was Huobi Global Operations. There were 4,000 known exchanges in the world and over 100,000 cryptocurrencies out there, right?
Wow.
And every single cryptocurrency, right, that many came and go, but Monero is one of the top 50, top 100 easily. But now the thing is, how does one cryptocurrency survive
Mhm.
and make itself shine out of the hundreds of thousands out there, right? The only way is to have your unique selling point, right? And you
Right.
push and you market that, right? It's how Larry Sharp stands out to be New York governor among the millions of people in New York City, right? And you're out there because you're really, out there speaking and networking, right? Speaking to even other countries influencers like myself, right? So you are, hustling hard and working very hard, right? So the same way cryptocurrencies are doing the same, right? They're hustling hard. And the louder your marketing noise is, the better you are in
Oh, I
people's
see.
mind awareness, right? So cryptocurrencies are just going to keep shilling their unique selling points and driving the point across. So there's not just Monero, there's so many other cryptocurrencies that
Mm.
have their own unique selling points as well, right? So, for example, there was one that was in Singapore that I took part of. It's called Zilliqa. It was the world first sharding
Huh.
technology that
Okay.
made the transaction speed super fast, faster than what Ethereum is today, right? But the thing now
Wow.
is, great product. However, it's all about marketing as well, right?
Yeah.
So the thing now is, over time, the I would say the hype died down and the price also obviously died down, right? So now
Right.
the thing is, ultimately, for any cryptocurrency, it's all about the marketing, how much push they have, right? The
Yes.
reason why Binance is top today, right, top exchange in the world, is because of the effective marketing it did, right?
Got
Same
it.
way of FTX, it became the top very quickly because of the effective marketing it did, right? There's even a whole entire stadium, FTX Arena, right, named after it.
Yes.
And it went on Super Bowl America. So
Yes.
the thing now is, it's all about how much push there is, yeah. And
So
the thing is, yeah.
let me ask you a question. You were one of the people who predicted that big explosion in Bitcoin, right? You predicted it several years ago, right? You were like, it's going to happen, and then all of a sudden it was going up, huge, right? There are some people who predicted it. You were one of them. John McAfee also predicted it, right? But you too. You said, hey, it's going to happen. Watch it, and you were right. There was an explosion in the price.
Mhm.
So I gotta ask, if someone's listening or they're watching, they gotta tell me, they gotta say, come on, Herbert, give me something for 2023. Give me some kind of trend or something you think is gonna happen, or what's your trend for 2023?
Okay, so now the thing is, like I mentioned, long-term trend, Bitcoin is definitely going to hit $1 million. Yeah, long-term trend. Now,
Can you hold on
2023.
1 second? Can you give me an idea what that long term is? You think that's 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? You have an idea or no?
Okay, so my prediction is before 2030. in
Wow.
7 years' time, Bitcoin will be $1 million each.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
a huge contrast to what it is right now at
Yes.
$20,000. Okay. Now the thing is, why I can say that, I think I reiterated it across the 1 hour already. So the thing now is, for this year, however, I would say the market is going to be generally quiet, right? It's there's not going to be a bull this year, like a bull run this year. However, there's going to be possible, very, very potential projects coming up. Okay. And what I would like to highlight the trends would be is, because of the FTX whole entire crisis, now there's going to be a trend towards a hybrid decentralized exchange. Hybrid. Yeah. So
Okay.
decentralized exchange means taking power away from the centralized exchange. Centralized just means the people on top that are holding the money, right? But it's not your money when they're holding it, right? So decentralized exchanges, basically, it's just a platform with nobody running it, right? It's automated already. But the thing is, you will need updates, right? What if it crashes and things like that? So there needs to be a hybrid decentralized exchange. And that would be a game changer development for this industry as a whole, right?
So
and
you
that
think
is,
because of the problems that we had last year, the response to that will happen this year, and that response will be a hybrid model exchange, and you think that then will facilitate a boom in the coming years?
yeah, okay. So now the thing is, with every crisis, there will always be lessons learned, and ways things being developed. Okay. When Bitcoin first shot up to 20,000, right, in December 2017, it was 2018, 2019 crypto winter that saw governments across the world trying to regulate the sector. Okay. With every event that happens, something will follow, right? So now the thing is, with this big FTX crisis and the many dominoes that followed, now the thing is, there's going to be things that be done. And what is it? For the industry, there's going to be developments in crypto exchanges, which is, now we are seeing an exodus of people pulling out funds even from the likes of Binance, right?
Yeah.
Forbes actually, reported this. Now the thing is, users are afraid, right? People are
Yes.
like, oh shit, should I even invest in Bitcoin at this point of time, right? Now the thing is, what is happening is, people are becoming educated. They understand what cold wallet, hot wallet means for the very first time in 12 years. Why? Because of this crisis that happened, right? Even myself, I got slapped left and right, first time MT Gox, second time, FTX. And really, now lesson learned, hard lesson. Yeah. So the thing now is, what I'm trying to say now is, it's going to evolve, and the trend is moving towards there.
Got it.
Now the thing is, I do believe that it's going to be even more rampant in the sector of tech, whereby AI is going to be the next big thing. It already is, with Microsoft leading the way on Chat GPT acquisition. And obviously, there's also Elon Musk Neuralink. Look that up. I do believe eventually it might be the future as well. That might be the one world government. Who knows? So if that really happens, and it's going to happen, why aren't you investing in it? Right?
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Invest in Elon Musk, right? I'm just saying, look at what's happening, right, on a global perspective, and then see where to invest, right? If you invest rightly, you're going to make money, right? You're going to be a rich man. Yeah.
There we go. I like that. So let me, if I could, do a little bit of work here for my sponsor, theadvocates.org. If you like what you're seeing and you want me to do more of this, and you want to hear more stuff like this, then support this show. You support this show by supporting its sponsors. Head over to theadvocates.org. It's free, costs you nothing. Just head on over there, take one of their quizzes, take one of their surveys, and then share it. Share your results. That's all. Take a quiz. The shortest ones are 2 minutes. The longest ones are 7 to 8 minutes. Most are in between the two. Give me 4 or 5 minutes, take the quiz, and then share it online. I'm happy, you're happy, the advocates are happy, and it's free. So please support my sponsors. It does matter. And if you like what you're seeing here, then click that like button. make sure you click in so I can get past all those algorithms we've been talking about. Yes, we'd like to please get around them if we could. And if you're watching on Twitter, please retweet this so that other people can see it. And finally, Herbert was good enough to come on the show and give us his wisdom, so please support him in return. Head over to his website, thebitcoinman.com. He's got a lot of fun stuff there, some interesting blogs. You can read them. Please check him out there. And also follow him on Twitter. It is Herbert R. Sim on Twitter. And if you're listening, HerbertRsim. So, Herbert, is there anything that I've missed that we should have been talking about that maybe we should have brought up that you'd like to talk about?
Thank you so much. Okay, so likewise, like I mentioned to users out there earlier, I got hit by FTX quite badly. Previously, I was kind of semi-retired, working on what I liked, right? In fact, I was doing my PhD as well in economics, specifically in AI and cryptocurrencies. So now the thing is, just last month, I joined a cryptocurrency project called WeWei.io as the CEO. So WeWei is by the ticker of WWY. It's a Web 3.0 community-driven ecosystem, and it's already listed on over 12 crypto exchanges, tier 1, such as Huobi and Bybit. So I would highly recommend users to same thing, do your research and find out the potential of the project before you invest in it, right? Understand what is the utility behind the token, right? So for WeWei, while it's already listed on top exchanges, means it's already credible, right? What you need to look into is the utility. And what does WeWei have? They have the there's the first, the launchpad, WePad, right? And number 2, there's WeGames, many games, but the very first one that we launched already is called madbackpacks.io. Look it up. So
hold on. I think I saw the chat there, right? On your Twitter, there's a link that goes right there, isn't it?
So from my Twitter, you should be able to see everything. Yeah, but I will just mention for the users to understand very quickly what it is. So the thing now is there's and the third, we have We Academy. So we create a whole entire ecosystem for users, new users in crypto, right, to learn and at the same time earn money, right?
Nice.
And the thing is, after you're educated already, then you can jump onto WePad to look out for top exciting projects that you can actually participate and invest in at the very early stage, before the 100x, right? So you invest in the earlier stage, even before it reaches Binance. The moment it reaches Binance, it's already a mature cryptocurrency, I would say. So when it's matured, the possibility of a 10x, 100x, it's very little, right? So what you want to do is participate right at the start. This again is for people more educated, already in crypto, and are willing to take the risk appetite. Yeah,
got it.
These are high risk kind of things, but high risk also comes high rewards. Yeah, sure. So it's up to people. Like I mentioned across the show, look into Bitcoin first. It's the least risk, I would say, among the hundreds of thousands of cryptos out there. It's the least risk and the best long-term investment returns. Yeah,
there we go.
Look into Bitcoin.
I appreciate that. Herbert, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate the time you gave me.
Yeah. I think one thing we should actually focus on, right? Like I mentioned earlier about the neurochip, right? So knowing that it's going to be the future, I went to acquire neurochip.com.
Oh, there we go. Look at you.
And I'm like actually, so I'm working with a top professor in neuroscience and AI called Dmitry Mikhailov. So he's actually a NUS professor. NUS is National University of Singapore, which is top 20 universities in the world. Now, the thing is, so with him, I'm actually developing a neurochip that doesn't require surgery, right? Elon Musk, Neuralink requires surgery, right? It's insertion of a microchip in your head. But who wants it, right? What if it short circuits? Or what if you need a replacement? right? You have to do multiple surgeries, right? It's super intrusive. You don't want that. So, and the thing is, the tech is so new. It's still right now. We are at the stage where we are still compiling data, and it's not sufficient for even embedding in the head. So, so he's way ahead of his game. He's over promising, you know. So what? Together with this professor, what we have done is we are developing a neural chip to compile data first through gaming, right? Through many actions. So we have a helmet that you can actually don on, and then it reads data of your brain, right? Like when you're playing computer games, or for example, in this show you're talking to me now, the helmet actually reads what your brain activity is.
Gotcha.
Right? Yeah, and eventually
I like
it will
that.
upgrade into something even smaller, like just your earpods, and it's actually tracking your brain activity. Yeah. So, and all this must happen first before the neural chip actually happens, that's embedded on your right hand or forehead, as predicted in the Bible, Revelations chapter 13.
You are
Look,
giving me such a dystopian future. Oh my God. All right. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to invest in Bitcoin and hope I can hide my bunkers someplace and wait till the whole thing blows over. I'm going to hope. We'll see. Guys, I
would
want to
say
say
buy
thank you all.
Bitcoin, because you could fund your whole entire campaign, your political
There we
campaign.
go. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. So I want to say thank you everybody for watching tonight. I appreciate you staying up so late with me for the first time. I will be off for the weekend, but I will be back on Monday. Again, I will see you all very soon.